Okay, again, if you're just joining us, this is the Call of the Wild. We have Oh My Gorseth, the great Kirkwood. We got lots of challengers coming in. Let's start out with a game of 3Check. The one, the only 3Check, the one that we've all been waiting for. And see if we can hold our own here in a 3Check game. So he's playing d4 with knight f6. That's not the most standard way I would approach a 3Check game, right? Although he has avoided the necessary checks there. So I'm going to play a move that seems normal in standard chess, but I'm mainly trying to open up my queen so that she can get involved in the process of checking the king. The rules to 3Check are pretty simple. Whoever checks the other person's king 3 times wins. In addition to it being a normal chess game where good moves are still at a premium, the main point of the game is to keep in mind that the initiative is really just so valuable, because the moment you're able to start getting any sort of threats, doesn't even matter if they're good checks, just checks, right? The moment the checks start happening is the moment it gets real dangerous. So I'm avoiding him taking on d7 with check. A lot of times giving up a bishop for just a single check if there's not a follow-up, I've found that it's not that great. I'm going to take here because it allows me to play for a double attack next move, which is going to be queen to f6, hitting both c3 and f2 as far as the checks go. I would not be looking to sacrifice my queen this early in the game. But this is fun. Remember, this show is really just about fun. This is how we get Chess TV started, Chess Monday started. We get it started with a game of 3Check or a Crazyhouse, whatever. Just getting it started with the wild variants, you know? And if you, again, if you're wondering how to play it, you just log on to thenewchess.com, go into the live server, and send me a challenge. There are multiple challenges coming in right now. We have Dragon Phoenix, Slayer, we have Chess Soccer, we have the Centipede. You're all on my radar. Okay, so knight f3 is played. Have I ever played a 3Check game where it took this long to even get a single check? I don't know that I have. I mean, this is about as close to a normal chess game as I've played in a 3Check game, ever. You like my mustache, yeah? It's like, oh yeah, is that a glass or is it a party? A party? A party. A party. I don't know why I can't say that in an English accent, but is that a mustache on your glass, or are you just happy to see me? Well, unfortunately, my opponent just forgot that the whole reason he couldn't take the d-pawn was because c3 was hanging with check. So that's actually game right there. That's a forced 3Check follow-up. Regardless of how he blocks here, I'm taking on a1 with check, and there's no other way to get out of it besides blocking with a piece, and then I will just sacrifice my queen. So that move, queen takes d5, was a blunder into a 3-move checkmate. Forced 3Check mate. So he goes there first, which is fine, but it's not going to stop the fact that this one was over as soon as I was able to take on c3 with check. So lesson learned there, and I really love 3Check. It makes you, ever since that game where, I don't know if you saw the highlight, I think we did a highlight for YouTube or Facebook, where I was just totally busted and like had this lucky sacrifice queen 3Check combination. So one of the fun things is that you can count up the checks as you go, and it's not just about improving your position strategically, but always being aware of letting your opponent on the loose. Now, unfortunately for white, this move would have been a blunder anyway, right? I mean, he was losing the rook with check either way. So not the best way to start off for Oh My Gorseth. Oh My Gorseth, you blundered the rook. Let's go on to the next guy. Let's see. There's a lot of mostly 3Checks coming in. We don't have to play only 3Checks, everybody, but I guess since we're starting that way, let's play a few more 3Checks, shall we? What else we got here? We got the Centipede. That was and Dragon Phoenix Slayer. Those are both Crazyhouse. We'll come back to you guys. Let's stick with 3Check for now. While we have a few games here until we get. So he plays e5 early. Now normally I think e6 is the best move. I'm developing my own theory here, and I feel like either e6 or knight to c6 are both the best moves for black to start out a game. So I've already established one check at the cost of a piece. If I take e5, even like queen e7, I can get a second check, but that's a lot of material to give up without without a concrete follow-up. So I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to avoid trying to go all in for a line that might sacrifice my queen. But this is an idea I was thinking about. It might be an interesting theoretical idea to consider, even for black. Like on e4, knight to c6 immediately, along with e6, should be a move that's considered, because there's all kinds of threats where the knight comes in and can go after the second check. So is it worth the knight for just a single check? Like, no. But in this situation where I'm one check away from victory, feels like it's just a matter of time, right? Now he has to be careful because he can't get his king castle, and I'm threatening to win in one move with queen h5 check. So he's on tilt, and unfortunately he wasn't aware that he was on tilt. So again, there's got to be balance here, right? You have to build up the center and give your pieces the most options available, just like you would do in any, to get good tactics for your pieces. But in this case, it's always with the idea in mind that the checks might be just around the corner. So let's take on one more 3-check. I want to do 3 of each at least before we move on. Here we have Naka 2016. Ooh, and he's higher rated than me. This should be fun. So this guy's a better 3-check player than me. So I'm going to test out my theory of knight to c6 as an interesting move 1. Because after knight to b4, there's no way to stop me from establishing my first check. Now, it's not necessarily, I don't know that it's the best strategy. It's sort of a gambit, I think. But is it worth a knight to get a single check in 3-check? That's the question, right? But with this new strategy where checks are worth something serious, I'm wondering if a knight is worth a check. I feel like a knight is worth a check, and that's why I'm going for the line, right? I feel just like a kid in the candy store right now. I'm learning a new game with all of you. We're all in this together. I'm not very good at this either. I mean, I'm hoping that my chess skill helps me to be decent. So he goes for now, I don't really know that I agree that a bishop is worth a single check. So I'm going to play c6 anyway, because I think it lets my queen and my bishop out. But I'm not even sure that that's really... Oh, what was I doing? That was a bad move. He should have castled there, for sure. I think he should have given up the bishop to get away from that first check. That is my opinion. So now I'd really like to play d5, right? If I play d5, takes, sacrifice the queen on e4 with check. Bishop takes f7 is the second check. King takes, knight check is the third check. I don't really think I want to go for that. I want to find a way to get developed and not even let him get his first check. If he plays d4, which is what I expect, I'm going to try to go after my second check, which he's not going to allow. This is all sort of what I expected. But now that I've got his king committed, is there some advantage to bringing the queen out? Should I take first? Is it worth giving up my bishop? I don't know that it is. I don't know that I see an immediate way for him to get a check, right? There's no concrete checks coming for this guy. And it's not to say that I'm in a position where I'm ready to just start sacking my queen for the second check. I don't really know that I... We saw that when I won that game against that guy who went all in for the first 2 checks. It doesn't mean the third check is just always there, right? If your opponent finds accurate moves, they can survive. So you really want to find a way to get checks in a row. My strategy is a knight is worth a check. That's something I've developed in my own mind of theory in 3-check. I think a knight is worth a check. I think you don't want to... it's just like chess in that you don't want to play hope chess. You don't want to just be going for one check at a time. You want to try to set up positions by developing your pieces where multiple checks at once will be possible. That's what I think. I think you want to set up positions where you can get multiple checks at a time. So if he takes a queen and I take his queen, and he takes my rook, he's still not getting any checks. And I'm actually getting multiple pieces for the rook on h8. I've already won the knight. If he goes all in with knight g6, bishop d2, knight h8, I'll take his bishop on g5, and at that point, oh, he's doing it. I love this. Now I've got 2 pieces already for the rook as soon as he takes h8 and I get his bishop. And if I trap his knight, that's 3 pieces for the rook. So this is very much a chess evaluation of my approach. But with a closed position, the chances of his rooks really getting jiggy with it against my king, I think, are pretty slim, right? So I feel like I'm outplaying this guy. He's higher rated, again, at 3-check or at the variance, but I really like my chances now. I've managed to simplify the position. Not a single check on the board for him has been played yet. And again, based on the theory that I think a knight is worth a check, I'm going to be... So now if I take there, he takes there with check, right? That's interesting. I would almost want to consider it. Because he only gets one check, and I get rid... By the way, if I had taken, he takes with check, king f8, he only gets one check, and there's no way he could have stopped knight f3 for my second check. So don't think I didn't consider it. This is very, 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 very real chessy here, isn't it? I want to use my knight to get a second check. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just trade it yet. A lot of real chess being played here. There's no immediate threats of check for him. I'm going to try to go get that dark square bishop. Interesting. I thought he would go for this. He's going to get one check. He's going to get one check. Is he going to be able to get two? Oh, no. I think he is. Oh, no. I think I just blew it. Wow. He got me. He did it. He hung in there. Where did I go wrong in that game? Definitely seemed like... I think I just got too fancy and careless. Initially, my plan was not to play this way, but to actually just castle long. And then if rook takes, probably would have been better. So I think I just got a little too fancy and careless. The other critical question is whether or not I should have gone for this idea, right? Knight takes d2. He takes with check. I take... Oh, no, but then he gets another check. Okay, I'm going to get my second check, like, no matter what. And if I open the G file, it makes moves like this really hard to deal with, right? Well, Nakafan, you impressed me. So much so that I want a rematch. I want a rematch against this guy. How do I get it? How do I rematch? Rematch. All right. I want to play this guy again. Because he taught me a lesson. He taught me a lesson of being careless after establishing a little bit of an advantage, I thought. I think everybody felt like I had established a little bit of an advantage there. He taught me a lesson about being careless with my king after that good start. So we'll see it. We'll see if I can pull it together in this second game. This is a best of 3 right now. All right. So little strange start by both of us here, kind of. He's going to be considering whether he should, go in for the gambit here if he's ready to start playing moves like bishop c5 or something. Personally, I think it's a mistake. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do. Because I think, like I said, before I got distracted last game and started losing, I think similar to chess, you shouldn't be developing plans that are based on one check at a time. Just like in chess, you shouldn't play a one-move plan, Trying to actually, think ahead about the checks you're going for, I think is really important. So now I'm going to play knight to d2 and hope he takes the e-pawn. If he takes the e-pawn, he's opening things up. Okay, that's not a bad move, right? Because he's trying to create a position where if I play d4, he has a check, right? Oh, and then if I play there, he takes with a second check and then a third check. So I could lose if I'm not careful here. If I castle, he gets one check I take. He can go in for 2 checks, but that would seem pretty risky for him, right? We'll see if he believes the bishop is worth a check. Because now I have to be careful, because if they already have one check, now the queen is just so much more dangerous, because any free check they get where they're not losing the queen, you basically lose. Like if a rook or queen ever give a check, they're guaranteed a second check unless they're being captured. Right? Because if you check with a long-range queen, if they move it, you can come up and sacrifice. If they block it, you can take and sacrifice. And if the king runs, you can just and if they whatever. I mean, so unless they're just capturing your piece off the board, long-range pieces, queens and rooks, I think are guaranteed a second check based on the theory that we're developing here, right? So that's important. That's important. Now I got to get my knight in here. I got to get my knight in here and start threatening some checks. That's got to happen ASAP. ASAP. So that's a good move for him. But now I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that he no longer wants to give up that queen, I think, just for a single check. Because even though he'd be up 2 checks to nil, that's a huge amount of material to be down. And unless he has a forcing check to follow, which I don't see, I think that should be okay for me. I hope you guys are having fun with this show. I know it's not quite as fun as or as instructive as some of the other shows where we're playing real chess. At least those who are really motivated to improve their chess games. But it's interesting, right? And it's certainly fun, I think. Okay, so if I take, I think this is good for me. If he takes here, I take, and if he takes here, I take. He's not getting his second check again without giving up the queen. And now I'm in a position to start doing some damage. He's got to be real careful here. I'm guaranteed at least 1 check in the next couple moves. Interesting. He's opening. Okay, but I don't know. I don't think that's correct. He can't take my knight. He loses on the spot to queen d5 check. Remember, we said that if the queen ever gives a check, she's guaranteed a second check unless you can capture her. So he sees that now. He says, uh-oh, I realize I can't do that. And once again, he's getting down on time. But I was in this position last time and blew it. So I'm still not worried about a single check coming from the queen. And I want to see where he wants to put that lady. Where's he going to put that lady? Because he's not in position to get any more checks unless he gives her up. And if he just goes to a simple square like h3... Okay, so he goes all in, but I think it's over now. Where's the next check coming? There isn't. And I'm guaranteed this. So we are in for a best of 3, boys, against Naka 2016. Let's do it. Rematch. Here we go. I want to redeem myself from last game. This is it. Best of 3. If you beat me, you get a best of 3. That's a guarantee. Look at me. Look at me. I sound like a car salesman. If you beat me, you get a best of 3. And that's a guarantee. Okay, so I'm going to go for this knight. Looking to give checks all the way around. Again, I guess I'll establish that I believe in my theory here, my idea, right? Let's develop some approach. Okay, so I'm going all in for that knight, giving a check. I'm blocking his next check, and I'm hoping to prove my approach worthy. There's not a very clear follow-up after this plan, though. I've established my check, but how do I follow up? A lot of challenges coming in, guys. I love it. Love everybody coming in. I think after this best of 3, we're going to switch to Crazyhouse. And we're going to end today's show with a King of the Hill open fest. Okay, so he plays e5. So it could be dangerous, right? Is it dangerous enough that I should consider just sacrificing the knight to complete some development here? I'm not sure. I'm still very worried about my king. So I'm going to play knight here. And my follow-up is going to be that if he plays queen e4 or even h3, I'm going to play h5. If he wants that pony, he's opening my h file. So let's do this. Okay, if he plays bishop takes, he's guaranteed a check and then a second check if he wants it. Interesting. He doesn't want it that bad, obviously. That's what he's saying. I'm going to play c6. I'd like to play d5. Right? That makes sense. It makes sense as far as what he's trying to do. Is he actually going to be able to sacrifice on f7? He gets 2 checks if he does. And then I'm on the run. Wow, this game is so hard. This game is so hard. Okay, I'm gonna play a risky move here. If he moves the queen in, I can trade, avoiding checks. If he en passant, I take with the queen. Again, I'm avoiding his concrete threats of checks. But I'm really, really scared about what I just did here. If there's a way to open that diagonal that I didn't anticipate. If there's not, it could be a really good counter move that I just went for. Because one of my advantages now is that my pieces are finally getting out, right? If he trades queens or even just removes the queen from this diagonal, right? I'm gonna get my own bishop out. Okay, that's a scary move that he just played. It's a scary move. He wants checks. Denied access denied to my king. You got to interrupt immediate access. Sorry, get distracted by something going on. The old company here. So he wants that check. He wants it all right. Let's see if he's willing to give up the queen for a check, huh? How badly do you want that check? He wants it real bad. I don't think that was the best decision. That was an all-in play, but there's no follow-up. That was an all-in play. Game over. Best of 3 goes to me, and I'm pretty psyched about it. That was interesting chess. Naka 2016, I salute you. You and I will have more games, my friend. I can feel the depth of your understanding in this game when I play you. Your aura, it's just your chi. Your chi is strong, man. You got some strong chi. And with that, I'm going to salute you, but happily take the best of 3. 3Check is my new favorite game. I think of all the variants, it's my favorite. I love 3Check. It's a blasty blast. Blasty McBlasterson. So, we are now going to move on to Crazyhouse. All those who've been patiently waiting for a game to explode on, let's do it. Let's jump into Crazyhouse, taking on, let's see here, a lot of challenges. A lot of challenges coming in. Ooh, let's take on a title player. My first ever title player matchup of today's show. Ooh, it was 5 minutes. That's kind of long, buddy. We should shorten it. We should shorten it next time. All right. 5 minutes is kind of long, but all right. We'll play some decent Crazy House here. It's long, not because it's a long chess game, but because there's a lot of people waiting. So, okay. Here we go. Candidate Master, Assassin 14, welcome to the Call of the Wild, right? The Call of the Wild. It's getting fun. People are going to be singing our song, right? Born to be wild. No, no, no. Do, 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 do. Born to be wild. Logging on to chess.com. Gonna play some 3Check. Maybe even Crazyhouse. Or whatever comes my way. Down, outbound. Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Chess 960 is also my game. Pick your variant, send a challenge at one cent. We'll explode into space. Like in true chess TV style. This is Call of the Wild. And KOTH, march my king up, and he's never gonna die. My king, KOTH, my king will climb so high, never gonna die. Call of the Wild. Bow, now, now, now. I just made up those lyrics. That's a song. I mean, that's a real song that just happened. I should patent that. What were the words again? Oh, man, that hurt. Uh-oh. He's getting lots of pieces here. Uh-oh. That ain't right. No, it's not. Uh-oh. Doesn't seem good, does it? 5-0. Man, this is so long. I'm not even used to this kind of slow chess. Logging on to chess.com. Now. Gonna play some 3Check. Now. Maybe even Crazyhouse. Now. Or whatever comes my way. Down. Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Chess 960 is also my game. So pick your variant, send your challenge at 1 cent. We'll explode into space like in true chess TV style. This is Call of the Wild. KOTH, my king will climb so high, he's never gonna die. Call of the Wild. I'm definitely on the defensive here. Call of the Wild. Ooh, little tempo, yeah? It's like, oh yeah, didn't see that knight popping in there, did you? No, you didn't, alright? Yeah, 3 times I'm gonna move my knights. I'm gonna come in here and attack you, alright? Yeah, right. Call of the Wild. Bow, now. It's time to go to Sacktown. Gotta get some pieces. Or I'm not gonna have enough to checkmate him on the queen side. Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Chess 960 is also my game. So send your challenges all at once and we'll explode into space like in true chess TV style. This is Call of the Wild. Someone's calling me. Why aren't they watching chess TV? Call of the Wild. I got a lot of knights. All right? Yo, I got a lot of knights over here. Yo, Yo, get over here with those knights, all right? I got a lot of knights over here. I'm going to put the knight right there, and then I'm going to put a pawn. I got a lot of knights. All right, you're going to meet me. Where's my knight? Go here. It's like there's so many options here. Let's go take it. Right, do it. There's a lot of options here. Let's see if the knights and the extra pieces I have are enough to bring in the noise. The noise. Should I try to checkmate him? Yeah, let's try to trap him. We don't need none of this. Keep checking. I'm going to trap. Although that's probably a bad idea. I probably am underestimating his chances here. Classic Dan. Underestimating his opponent's chances, right? Classic Dan. Uh-oh. I don't want it. I don't like it. I want to run over here. Like in true chess TV style. This is Call of the Wild. My king will climb so high, he's never gonna die. I love that KOTH line that I just made up on the spot. I was thinking about dropping out of chess to become a freestyle rapper. What do you guys think? Huh? Yeah? No? Don't quit your day job? Okay, I get it. You guys aren't digging my my made-up lyrics. Oh, it's my jam. I saw this coming. Like in true chess TV style, it's checkmate on the queen side. Gonna climb so high, never gonna die. All right, I want to play some more Crazyhouse, but I only do rematches if I lose, just because we got a lot of people here. It's nothing against anybody. There's a lot of people waiting, a lot of people who want to jump in on this horrible freestyle rap session that I'm on. Can somebody maybe write down those lyrics I did? Sometimes I'm thinking about maybe I'll make a chess CD, right? Again, no? Don't quit your day job, Dan? Okay, yep, I get it. I get how you guys feel about my ideas. I don't know any good theory for Crazyhouse. Like, this game is so much more regular. This game is so much more regular than, like, it's more bughousey, but it's, I don't know, like, should I be sacking material for the initiative? But then I gave my opponent 2 pawns, right? I have a small lead in development, but is it going to mean anything? What does it all mean? I don't know. I don't understand Crazyhouse. I need Kazim, my boy. I'm going to start taking private lessons in Crazyhouse and Bughouse from Kazim. Let's open a king, right? Usually that's a nice idea. Whenever they move the bishop, right, put pawn right there and pry it open, love. It's like, oh yeah, right. Isn't it? I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody watching this who's like pulling their hair out right now, and I'm just like I'm disrespecting the game. But if that's how you really feel and you're that much better than me in Crazyhouse, then shame on you, all right? Because I watch people, not play as good at chess as me all day, and I don't get frustrated. Nobody's, bothering me, all right? So just because I'm an amateur, just because I'm a noob at this game, doesn't mean you can demean me. I don't know what to do here. It's like, do I want to keep the bishop, right, and then threaten bishop g2 next? Or do I want to sack it? Bishop g2 takes. The rook could be very, very nice. I'm going to do it. I don't know, but I'm going to do it. I like the take there. And then I want to clear the square and get the rook over here on first rank. It's like, oh yeah, right. I don't know why I keep saying that. And all the listeners with an English accent just left Chess TV. Oh man. So I'm hoping that this is an okay idea. Again, I don't claim to be a Crazyhouse expert, but I feel like, are the rooks more valuable in Crazyhouse than they are in Bughouse? Like, normally minor pieces and pawns are just like the premium in Bughouse, because one, you can get them faster than anybody, and you can do all these these immediate checks. But in Bughouse, it's easier to deal with like a rook, because you get extra pieces from your partner and they can do it. The one thing about Crazyhouse is, again, you can control the game a little bit more because of this because you know exactly what's happening. You know exactly what's coming next. So I know that my opponent is going to have to deal with this now. Right? Now, placing the knight with check seems like an option, but after king e2, what's my follow-up? So I think the most powerful move here is actually this move, which forks the queen, defends c6, and attacks c2. I don't have an immediate next move. Like, where's my next move, right? I'd love to do something nasty. I love to get all nasty up in here. I'd love to do something nasty. And right, queen, yeah. Honey Badger just taking what he wants. I'm going to play knight f3 check next, perhaps. Oh, right. Did you miss it? Am I going to take it? Right, takes here, king takes, queen h1 would be mate. He can block with the bishop, though. Isn't that the truth? What a lucky dog. I don't think he saw that, though. Okay, I can check with the knight, and he kind of loses his queen, right? Isn't that true, at least? No, that's not even true? Ugtown. Ugtown, man. If I take with the knight first, queen check, he blocks with the bishop. My knight is useless. If I had a pawn, it would be game over. But where's the goods, right? You know what? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking it might actually be best to offer a queen trade. I don't know. Oh, what if he just takes my knight, though? Then that was a stupid idea. I don't think that was right. That can't be good for him, right? Now I'm gonna keep rocking, right? Boom town. Never place a piece what you can do with a piece on the board. That is a tip for everybody, and that's actually a good tip. So I'm not going to place a knight. Instead, you move the knight. Remember that tip for Crazyhouse. Never place a piece if you can achieve the same goal by moving a piece on the board. Otherwise, you create what's called like a useless piece, right? The piece is sort of just backward. So now I can play queen here. Actually, I can just play here, and he has to block it, and then I move the knight, and it's game over. Discovered check. Discovered check town. Population U, bro. Discovered check town. Population U, bro. Again, never do something with a piece you have on the sidelines that you can do with a piece on the board. So I'm just going to keep, as long as I can keep checking him and get long-range pieces involved, that's almost always a good idea. That's almost always a Sam Adams. Don't place pieces until you have to. Okay. So now there's going to be lots of disastrous stuff going on for him, right? At least we were hoping so. It seems like there should be some sort of mate here. Indeed, there's multiple ways to do it, but that's good enough. Okay, so we actually learned something about Crazyhouse there, if we assume that I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know that this opening is any good. I'm not going to give anybody advice on theory, because there is theory for Crazyhouse and Bughouse. This guy doesn't know it, okay? But I know that one of the ideas you can remember is that when these pawns become weak, sacrificing to open up squares, you're always trying to think of not just what you're getting immediately for the material, but what square it opens up for your pieces. So like in Bughouse, you'd be screaming for like a knight, like place a knight with check, and when the king moves, then you would take there with your bishop, and the initiative just plays itself. But in Crazyhouse, you know exactly what you're getting, which I think in some ways is a disadvantage. So I placed the bishop at g2. And again, I went for this idea that the rook was more valuable than the... And I don't know that that's like theoretically the best idea, but the initiative seemed to work out, right? Anyway, I think this was a mistake. If he takes with the queen here, that's in trouble. But again, we looked at this mate idea, takes and queen check. He blocks with the bishop, and I didn't see the follow-up. Maybe I should have done that, but I was worried about, petering out. One of the things you have to remember is sometimes your attack will fizzle out, and then they just flip that script on you, right? So he should have taken on d4, I think, and rolled the dice. After this, the game was just over, right? Because my pieces are they're just playing themselves right now, and every move was a check for the rest of the game. So that's interesting stuff. We got one more Crazyhouse before we jump over to King of the Hill. So many people here. Legend Master Baloo, Sean Y. Sean, Athlet Sitbit, Mohit99. I can't read all your names. JD Cannon, Smooth Cow. All right, let's go with chess guy 1012 because he's been waiting. And he's been here from the beginning. So I'm going to reward his patience and play him a Crazy House game. All right, chess guy. This is it, man. This is your chance. You gotta lose yourself in the Crazy House sack. That wasn't as good as my Born to Be Wild parody. Right? You gotta sack a piece in the moment you own it. You know it. You gotta never let the king go. You only get one shot. So place that pawn and go. This opportunity comes once in a sack town, right? You gotta, nope, never place a piece you can do with on the board. Cosm taught me that. Cosm taught me that. WWKD, what would Cosm do? He'd probably kick a bleep or two. That's what Cosm Gulamali would do. Right? What would Brian Boitano do? He'd probably kick a bleep or two. That's what Brian Boitano would do. All right, but now I think this is getting a little bit ugly here. It's like, oh yeah, lots of good Crazy House lessons here. I don't think not occupying the center for future, I really don't think it's a good idea to not occupy the center with your pawns. Like d3 and I don't know. That's why I played d5 that last game and sacked the c-pawn. I think you got to open lines ASAP. Now, I would really love to get jiggy with it right here, right now. But I'm going to just back up. Not ideal. I was thinking maybe there was some place, place my queen, do something. But I'm gonna parry his threats a little bit until he runs out of pieces, and then I'm gonna get back to biz. So now I'm gonna place this knight irritatingly on g4. Not because I'm gonna sack, but because if he castled, right? We'll trade that knight if he wants it. You gotta sack a piece to open the square, then place a pawn there. You gotta never let the king go. You only get one shot. Crazy House is your chance to go. Crazy. Let's get back to that Born of the Wild parody that I was saying. I don't know, that was good stuff, right? Everybody liked that. I've kind of let my attack peter out here. I'm not thrilled. I mean, this is like how I managed to come back against that other guy where I was down the queen. I guess I'll get that queen on the board because he doesn't have any more pieces to place. One of the advantages of that is every trade from here on out I can sort of dictate, right? Because like I know there's no more pieces coming. That again, it's a little different than Bughouse. So if I want to make a trade, I can do it. Like, I'd love to sack here, sack there, place my knight, if only I had another queen coming. That wouldn't work very well. I can play there and then drop the knight there, but I'm giving him a queen. I don't know that that's ideal, so I'm going to avoid trades for a little bit longer. I mean, I wanted to do it. Don't get me wrong. It was on my to-do list. That was on the old agenda, was to go to Sacktown there. But I don't see a real way in. Chess guy is playing solid chess now. Got to give it to him. He's defending well. So now I'm gonna make trades that hopefully open up some squares in his position, and we get equal. So we're both getting an equal knight. And now I noticed I didn't take with the queen because I didn't want him to get a tempo. And now I like it. Now I feel good about that. I'm really not even worried about him taking there. Give me another bishop. Give me more pieces because I feel like there's the potential for these squares to become available to me. Okay, if he wants to trade, let's get a big old trade going. Let's get a big old trade going. Get a big old trade going. So we got a couple of bishops here. He's got some pieces too, right? So we're aware. We are aware. I'm anticipating that I'll have to give back one of my queens here in a minute. Ooh, but that's really good for me. Now I get this. As soon as he gave me that second knight, If I can sack and then use that square immediately, then something went wrong. Yeah, that was a big mistake giving me that knight. Now, okay, maybe even queen f4 check was good enough, but let's just sack and open lines, get the other pieces involved, and that should be good enough, right? Where's the next follow-up check and mate? I don't know exactly, so I'm going to place that guy there. Take him. This guy check. More pieces are coming in. Right, this is going to be over soon. This has got to be over soon. And just like that, the doctor ordered checkmate. And he said stat, like when doctors say stat, right? Discount double check, right? All right. That was fun. Chess Guy, 102, 1012. Peace out, homie. You did good, man. Now we move on to the final variant of the day, KOTH. KOTH. That's King of the Hill if you're keeping track at home. And nothing is going to hold my king back from rocking your world. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. King of the Hill is the most similar to chess variant unless you don't make it so, unless you just go nutty, right? Because we're basically playing a chess game here until enough pieces come off the board where the king like makes his run, right? He makes his gives his go for it. So if the pieces come off the board quickly, even if I have like an advantage here, theoretically with pieces coming off the board, right? He's all in. He's like, here I go. He's like, I'm going to try to go win. But in the process, of course, he's also, risking a ton, right? Because now the king is going to be under fire for the rest of the game. I just blundered and gave him the game. Oh, he just had king e5. I didn't even think about it. He just had the game in one move. And I thought about it before I took that pawn. Oh my God. Dragon Phoenix Slayer, brother. You had it. You had the rematch in hand. Now it's going to get real ugly. Oh man. I just blundered the game. I just gave him e5 and I forgot it. I didn't take the pawn the move before because I saw it, and then when we got there I forgot, and now I like it, yeah? Now it's like, oh yeah, right. Do it. Get it. Nice. Man, playing King of the Hill after playing 3Check is so much less stress. Right? Because in 3Check, you're just like sitting there constantly waiting for the hammer to drop on you. Waiting for... I love it. The stress of 3Check when you never... Like, you have to think about these combinations is so much fun. 3Check is the most exhilarating of the wilds. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to give Dragon Phoenix Slayer. I might give him a rematch anyway. Because I blundered into the game. I blundered into check. It was over. It was rover, actually. And it's assuming I'm still going to win. I guess I'm kind of talking like I am. Because it seems like he's gotten himself in a tiny bit of trouble here. Right? Seems that way. Yeah, and this is kind of how King of the Hill goes, right? You run your king out. He had his chance, though, so I'm going to give him a rematch because I feel bad. I felt like I was going to win, and I did see that idea, but it was just, I just blundered it straight out. And so we're giving him a rematch. We're being real nice here. And we have a regular chess position developing. I think that's pretty much how King of the Hill goes. I've still never successfully done my own king run, which I think is why I'm hesitant to just do it, because I've run my king out for those squares several times and gotten mated in the process, like we just saw happen to Mr. Dragon Phoenix Slayer. But I've never successfully run my king into the board and won myself. And here he goes again. Here he goes. He's going all out. Going all out, but likely, at least I hope, will checkmate himself in the process. All right, so he's there. So he's hoping. He's in it to win it, as they say, right? No risk it, no biscuit. Oh, sick. He's threatening e5. And then he would get e4. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay, so I got to go for this pawn. Gotta go for that pawn. I hope. I hope I have to, because I'm doing it. Ooh, I'm going to get my queen trapped, huh? That wouldn't be ideal. Queen b4, I think he had a3. Oh, wait, I had queen b6 check still, so NBD. But I still like my chances, because I still am just not I'm not a believer, right? I'm not a believer in the running the king approach, right? Is it too late to say sorry? It's like Justin Bieber. It was too late 2 years ago, man. It was too late 2 years ago to say sorry, brother. Get over it, man. Is it too late to say sorry? No, body. Ooh. Is it too late to say sorry? 'Cause I know that I let you down. Checkmate is gonna take the king to Ouchtown. It's a forced checkmate in 3E. Let's take on our next challenger. All right, next challenger to King of the Hill. You guys got all kinds of Crazyhouse and 3Check challenges up in this, but we're playing King of the Hill. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I already played this guy today. Sorry, abort town. Not because I don't love you, man, but because I've already played you. So let's get some King of the Hill against some people we haven't played. Here we go. We got Nate 8 7 3 5 8. Nate 8 7 3. Hey, why was 6 afraid of Nate? Because Nate 8 7 3 5 and 8. Oh, snap. Right? Hey guys. Why was 6 afraid of Nate? Because Nate 8 7 3 5 and 8. That's why 6 was afraid of Nate. Oh, man, I'm good. That was beautiful. And this is not the best way to play King of the Hill, buddy. This is not the best way to play King of the Hill. This might be the best way to play King of the Thrill. All right? Because I'm sure this feels exciting, risking that king for that old biscuit, but no bueno. No bueno. Not happening. Not gonna work here anymore. All right. I think this wild just gets too many people excited about the possibility of running. I think it's really a chess wild, and then you gotta run that king up later, in the end game. It's like an end game wild, really, right? It's like it's a wild for the end game, and I'm just gonna castle because I want no part of him thinking he's ever gonna touch that d file. I could have played knight check, bishop takes, queen takes d8, but then king to d4 and I lose. So now I'm gonna give this check, and then I'm gonna win his queen, and he still has no access to my hill. No. How do we deliver the goods here? How do we deliver the old goods? We start with this check. I probably could have just taken the knight too, but I think that we start with this check, and then I have knight a4 check. I think it's his only move, and when the king goes to a5 only move, I have bishop to d2 check, king takes, queen b4 mate. That's it. Is it too late to say sorry? All right, that's it. Now, King of the Hill lessons, right? You just can't play it that way. You gotta be more focused on getting developed. So here we go. We got another one. Another King of the Hill taker. Here we go. Full board awareness. You gotta play a real chess game in this one. KOSC. Welcome to the show, partner. The Call of the Wild. What were those lyrics again that I did? Right. Logging on to chess.com. Looking for some 3Check. Maybe even Crazyhouse. Or whatever comes my way. Yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Chess 960 is also my game. So send me all of your challenges at once and we'll explode into space like in true chess TV style. This is Call of the Wild. My king will climb so high, he's never gonna die. Call of the Wild. Do-do-do-do-do-do. This has not been good for me, huh? I sort of overloaded the tactics of this position. But I think that getting that pawn back is still going to come at a price for him, right? I mean, I can play bishop f3 after I get castled and go for an attack. I kind of want it more though. I want to risk him. I want to risk him getting that queen in big trouble. The thing is, though, he's going to have to get castled likely, right? The chances of wanting to run the king up this early would be... chances of him wanting to do that are not very high. So I'm going to... Ooh, okay, here we go. He wants it. He wants the whole thing. But I think it's, again... I think it's risking it. I guess we'll go here. Play d5. Take advantage of the pin d6 pawn. And I feel like that king will once again regret the journey that he started a few moves ago, right? This ain't the Hobbit. This ain't the Hobbit, man. This ain't the unexpected journey that's going to work out for you, buddy. This ain't the Hobbit, and I don't look like Gandalf. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. The greatest adventure for the king. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. The greatest adventure for the king. Not happening. See that whole little like dwarf song we went into right there? Back when Peter Jackson thought it was okay to have a 13-minute scene with dwarfs singing, when that happened. I know you blocked it out like the rest of us. I get it. That was not the best moment in cinema. I'll say that. But still, it's just, this is not a journey that's working out well for the king. Let's keep that king in a good position, right? And then get the king going later on. That's how you win the king of the hill. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. The greatest adventure of them all. Going for checkmate is what lies ahead. Going for checkmate. There's got to be a mate here. Bishop c3 check, b4, rook a7 check, king up, rook check, king c6, rook check, king b6, knight d7 mate. Now that, my friends, was sick. That's coordination at its best. Boom. See, the knight check immediately doesn't work because the king could take my rook. So I have to check and coordinate my rooks for protection and then ring that bell. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. And on that note, we are going to take it home for Call of the Wild. Who's next? You don't even need to wonder who's next. It's Amon Hamilton with the sequel, Part 2, Material Odds Challenge. Could it be the greatest show to hit Chess TV since every other show that's still on Chess TV? Yes, it could be. Watch it. I'm on. Take them home, sweetie. Take them home. I'm out. Peace, everybody. Get those wild variants going. Get them going. Danny, stop talking. No one's listening.